So right now, the global diamond market is, well, it's basically split in two. As we head into the massive US holiday season, you've got some dealers celebrating huge profits on very specific gems, and at the same time, others are desperately slashing prices on diamonds that, frankly, nobody seems to want. Today, we're going to dig into why. So, how did we even get to this point? First, we'll take the pulse of the US market. It's the biggest player in the game, so what happens there matters. Then we'll get into the specifics, which diamonds are hot and which are not. We'll see how this trend is creating real winners and losers. From Israel to India, we'll look at the hard numbers that prove it all. And finally, we'll try to figure out what this big split means for the future of the entire industry. Okay, to really get what's going on, you have to understand the timing. This whole snapshot is from November 27th, 2025. Think of it as the calm before the storm. This is that perfect moment right before Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Week kick off the biggest shopping season of the year. It's the ideal time to really gauge the health of the market.
All right, so let's start with that big picture. What's the overall feeling in the United States? I mean, it's the largest consumer market for diamonds on the entire planet, so the mood there sets the tone for everyone else.
You know, at first glance, the US market looks pretty solid. Dealers are busy, people are buying those bigger 2 to 4 carat stones, and online sales are even up. Prices are holding steady. It all sounds stable, right? But, and this is a big but, that stability is kind of a mask for a much more dramatic story happening just underneath. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because when you start to dig just a little bit deeper, you find that the market isn't one big happy family at all. It's completely fractured. There is a huge divide based on what people are actually buying. So here's the split in a nutshell. On one side, you've got the hot list, these long, fancy shapes like ovals and emeralds. There aren't enough of the good ones to go around, they're selling for premium prices, and they are super profitable. And on the other side, you've got the not-so-hot list, the traditional, smaller, round diamonds. Their prices are falling, demand is slow, and that half-carat size is getting hit the absolute hardest. And it gets even more granular than that. This quote from the report is so telling. It says, fancy shapes with bad proportions are illiquid. Now that's just a technical term that basically means you can't sell them. They are dead in the water. So the demand isn't just for any old oval or emerald cut. It's for the perfectly cut ones. Quality is everything. So we have this massive divide in demand. How does that actually play out across the globe? Well, it's creating completely different realities for diamond traders depending on where they happen to be. Let's start in the United States. Wholesalers there, they're having a pretty good run. And it's no surprise why, right? They are catering directly to that red-hot demand for the large, long, fancy shapes. They're focused on the profitable side of the market, and believe me, it is paying off for them. But now let's jump over to a major trading hub like Israel. And wow, the story could not be more different. The mood there is grim. The reason? Their market is built on what they call bread and butter items, the exact same smaller round diamonds that are completely out of style right now. They're being forced to slash prices just to get them out the door. And this isn't just an Israel problem, not by a long shot. Other massive centers like India and Hong Kong are feeling the exact same pressure. They're stuck with all this inventory that's not moving, and discounting is just becoming the new normal. It is a global slump for the traditional side of the diamond market. Okay, so we've got the story, we've heard the anecdotes from different parts of the world, but what do the numbers say? Let's actually look at the hard data from the RapNet Diamond Index, because it shows just how deep this split really is. And yeah, the data tells the story perfectly. Over the last year, the price of a half-carat diamond has plummeted by nearly 20%. A 1 carat is down almost 8%. But then you look at the 3-carat stone. Its price is stable, even up a tiny bit. I mean, you could not get a clearer picture of two completely separate markets operating at the same time. And look, this isn't just some long-term trend that's been happening for ages. If we zoom in and just look at the price of a 1-carat diamond over the last 3 months, you can see this steady, undeniable slide. The pressure on these traditional sizes is happening right now, and it is relentless. All right, we've looked at the mood in the US, we've seen the specific diamonds driving these trends, we've checked the global impact, and we've looked at the hard numbers. So now, let's pull it all together and answer the big question. What does this all mean? After sifting through all this information, what is the single most important story playing out in the diamond world as we speak? What's the bottom line? The key takeaway is this. The diamond market today is a story of sharp contrasts. You have the US market, which is this lone bright spot in a pretty sluggish global trade. But that strength is hyper-specific. It is all about a tiny niche of high-quality, long, fancy shapes. At the exact same time, the traditional foundation of the market, all those smaller round diamonds, is crumbling. This isn't one market anymore. It's two separate worlds. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? Will this booming demand for specialty diamonds in the US be strong enough to eventually lift the entire global market up? Or will the widespread weakness in those traditional bread and butter stones end up pulling the US market down with it? Right now, those two worlds are moving in opposite directions, and the one that wins out is going to define the diamond trade for years to come.